What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel as I sit here in the old Jeep TJ for a little lunch break. Peach tastes like shit. I find myself contemplating the sale or planning for the sale of said Jeep, but I can't help but think about a few of the things that I love about this vehicle. So that's what we're talking about today. Well, there's a few obvious things to note just because of the nature of Jeeps. These older Jeeps, right, are known for a few things that you just can't help but love. Their off-road capabilities, for one. I mean, they're just really kind of nimble vehicles off-road, and that's what they've established their reputation on through the decades, and it's true with these TJs as well. Of course, the 4-liter inline-six is an engine that's established itself over the years as well for a number of reasons, so it has to be mentioned in a video like this. And I love that now that I got this vibrant street power muffler on this thing and opened it up a little bit, it's got a nice little burble to it too. Try to get some burbles for you here. It's got an iconic look to it. Jeep has done a great job over the decades kind of to keep that Jeep Wrangler character, and the TJ is no exception. Love how this little thing looks, even with, you know, factory suspension, factory ride height, and some factory 15-inch wheels. It still looks cool. You guys know that I'm a person of simplicity. I don't like crazy interior things. I don't like all the gadgets and electronics. It's not something that is a priority for me. So I love the interior of these old Wranglers. Just basic stuff. It doesn't even have a tape player, right? Just a couple little accessory buttons, you know, the rear wipers, rear defrost, and an accessory lighting button. Manual windows, manual locks, no crazy gadgets. Of course, it's a 20-year-old vehicle, so you got to expect that, but just sort of this simplistic character that I like about the Wrangler. The turning radius on this thing is insane. Of course, you're just driving a tiny little block, a little cube as my daughter calls it, so it just turns right around. Obviously, that is one thing that really helps it be nimble again in off-road situations, but just being able to whip it around in a parking lot or do a quick U-turn in the middle of a road, sure, you could do it on a sidewalk. I gotta say, I love the raw driving experience that the Wrangler has. You get some of these experiences like in old Porsches, right? For example, I'm not comparing a Jeep Wrangler to a Porsche, but you know, like an old 350Z that's kind of meant for the track. You know, cars like that that are just raw. You can feel and hear the exhaust. It might be the biggest piece of shit in America, but it sure is a lot of fun to drive. You hear all the little rattles, but it doesn't necessarily sound like the vehicle's falling apart. It's just, you know, the hardtop of the Wrangler is fiberglass or plastic, whatever the hell this material is. It's just, it allows a lot of those exterior noises in, and just kind of, it's a visceral experience driving a Wrangler. That sort of goes back to that simplicity, that minimalist kind of feel of a vehicle that I like. Again, no gadgets, no crazy stuff, just limited on sound deadening and insulation material. You're just kind of in the element as you're driving. Now, when you add the fact that you pull the doors off or you take the top off, you're literally in the air, you're in the wind, and I love that feeling on the road, and it's a feeling that I didn't know or I didn't realize I would love that much. There's just something about it. I'm serious, guys. If you're not an off-roader or a truck or an SUV kind of guy, or girl, and you just love cars or you love Nissan cars, if you're going to broaden your horizons and expand your automotive experience, get a Wrangler, at least drive one. Find somebody that's got one and drive one. An older Wrangler, right? Like one of these, a TJ. It's just an experience that you gotta have in life. I mentioned its off-road capabilities, but I gotta mention its on-road capabilities as well. Knock on wood, of course, because I don't want to jinx anything. But in my experience with these Jeeps, not necessarily Wranglers, but I've had XJs in the past, they are extremely capable on road as well. It cruises at like 2,000 RPM, 2,500 RPM in fifth gear at 70 miles per hour, you know, thanks to its gearing. But the thing will crawl through anything, literally. I had XJs up in Minnesota and very, very rarely used four-wheel drive. I remember crawling through snow drifts that were higher than your knees and just crawling through it. Rear-wheel drive, two-wheel drive, never engaged the four-wheel drive. It just crawls right through it. They're really incredible vehicles. So it's capable of getting you through all types of weather conditions. You can hit the trail with it as it is. And I'll say too, on those XJs, factory suspension and just regular old, all season tires. And it's just crawled right through snow, crawled right through mud, no problems. The Wranglers are no different. Finally, I gotta say the last thing, or another main thing that I love about this Wrangler, is not about the Wrangler itself. It's about the community. The Jeep Wrangler community is like second to none, seriously. Obviously, there's jackasses in every single car community there is. You'll find them no matter what. But in my experience in the Nissan Infiniti community, there's a lot of jerks out there. People love to trim shame or whatever. They talk shit about the 3.7, or if it's not the premium or not a sport, then it's a poor person's car. BMW guys are the same way. It's nonsense. I've seen the same stuff in the Mustang community. People are just crazy. They gotta find something to nitpick or argue about, and it's stupid. And I'm sure there's people like that in these Wrangler communities as well. But as I've spent some time on these forums and the Facebook groups, you see that everyone is really there to help each other out. And I'm sure somebody will find an example of where this isn't the case. But people just, off-roaders in general, if you're involved in any of those groups, they're really, really helpful as well. But when you're out on the road, literally everyone driving a Wrangler will wave at you. I call it the bro wave or the Wrangler wave. They're always waving out the window. I mean, really, it's not that necessary, but it is nice that people in the community will acknowledge each other. I don't know. There's something to be said about that. There's a couple of honorable mentions I want to add to the list as well. And the first one doesn't have to do with the actual Wrangler itself, but it kind of piggybacks on this idea of community, and that is aftermarket support. Aftermarket support for the Wrangler and sort of Jeeps in general is, I gotta say, second to none. The number of suppliers, the number of different parts out there at different price points is unbelievable. And that's fantastic. When you're an enthusiast involved in a particular platform, it's great to know that you can find a wide assortment and array of available parts. Gotta love that about the Wrangler. The other is that the hood opens all the way up and leans all the way back. I mean, that is pretty badass. I love having complete access to the engine bay. It makes things so easy. One thing I can't stand is you pull a car in a garage, and if you have typical garage lighting and you open your hood, it's probably blocking the light from above. So you always got to have trouble lights, or you got to have extra lights pointing in your direction, or a spotlight of some kind, shop light. That's annoying. But you don't have to worry about that with a Wrangler at all. You just open the hood, lean it all the way back. Let me know what you guys think about the old TJ Wrangler, the old RusTee J, now that you don't have any rust. But let me know in the comments below also if you have or you've had a Wrangler in the past. Let me know what you loved about that vehicle. I'm curious to know. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate the continued support. Subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. Let's grow this channel. Trying to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we got to make a push for it. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.